We've all heard the saying, the customer is always right. Is this saying true? I think that I have a pretty good answer for this, and I'd like to talk about that in this video. 2 weeks ago, I sent a test build of Demonlocke out to a few players. And these players were my customers in this scenario. As they played the game, some of them found problematic areas and suggested solutions to how those problems could be solved. Here's an example of some feedback that I got from the players. They were confused and unsure if the game was turn-based or real-time. When I read this, even though I liked the real-time mechanics that I had in the battles, I thought that the best choice was going to be removing that and making the battles turn-based so that would be more clear to the players. I even posted a video 2 weeks ago talking about this. Here's the video, and many of you commented that maybe removing the real-time system wasn't the solution. Maybe there were other problems that I needed to address. Maybe adding a timeline would actually solve the main problem of them being confused as to how the battles were working. After reading your feedback, I felt like that was the right call. So here's an example of what the battles looked like before the timeline, where it's a little bit unclear who's going to attack when and exactly how this is working. And here's an example with a simple timeline implemented. And I think that helped quite a bit. So in this case, I think you all were right. However, I don't think that customers are always right. Let me show a few more examples. Some players felt that the white flash for battle transitions was jarring, and I tend to agree with them on that. As a solution, the player suggested not using white for the flash and using a slightly different color. As you can see, I implemented a new transition system, and it wasn't exactly what the player suggested. And it's not necessarily that their suggestion was bad, it just didn't fit in line with exactly what I wanted the transitions to be like. And while this transition isn't exactly 100% finished and what I want it to be like, I think it's a much better transition and a step in the right direction. Another example is they felt like battles were very static, and it was a little confusing who exactly was attacking who in the battles. In order to fix this issue, I added some different animations to the battles to better show who was attacking, and I could as well pause the battles better so we can see here. It clearly shows who is attacking who, how much damage is done, and I think this looks significantly better than what I had before. I'm pretty excited about this, honestly. So while I didn't do exactly what my players suggested every time, I did value their feedback quite a bit. It was very important for me to be able to find the problematic areas and to implement solutions. And these solutions aren't perfect yet. I still have a long ways to go. But that process of using feedback to find the problems, and sometimes if the suggestions for fixing those problems fit your vision, you can implement those suggestions. But other times you might need to find your own solutions to those problems in order to solve them in a way that fits the vision that you have of the game as the designer and creator of the game. So is the customer always right? Well, they're always right about where the problems are, especially collectively. If you have multiple people telling you there's a problem in your game, there's an issue there. But they're not always right about the solution that should be implemented. So for me, I look at this process as I implement features that I feel like support the vision that I have for my game. I have people play test it, and I watch their reactions and get feedback from them. and I use that to identify problem areas in the game. Once I've identified those areas, I'll listen to their suggestions, but I won't always use them. Sometimes I'll implement my own solutions that solve those problems in a way that, once again, supports the vision that I have for the game. And then I get playtesters again and get feedback to see if my solutions actually solve those problems. I personally believe that using this process will help you to make a game that is unique and isn't muddied by just taking feedback from every single person and doing every single thing that your players suggest, but is also a game that a lot of people can enjoy. You're ironing out the rough edges, you're getting rid of those problematic areas. The solutions are your own, but you're still working to clean up the game in a way that will make it so that more people can enjoy it. That's going to be it for this devlog. I want to thank you all for watching. If you're interested in following this project, be sure to click the Notify Me on Launch button for the Kickstarter. I will be doing a Kickstarter. I don't know exactly when yet, but you'll know because you'll be notified on launch once I do submit that. I want to thank everyone who has already followed. We got a significant boost in followers since the last video, so I appreciate that. If you're interested in learning more about Godot and want to make your own games as well, I have a course, and there'll be a link for that in the description as well. Thank you all so much, and I will talk to you all later.